Hello, welcome to Correctional Junkie. I'm your host, Nurse B, and this is episode 2. On episode 2, I would like to talk about why did I become a correctional nurse. I became a correctional nurse because I have a love for law and nursing. And the two came together when I found out that they use nurses in jails and prisons. So I met another nurse where I was working at a nursing facility, and she was still looking for other opportunities. And so she asked me about if I was interested in anything else, where I just was looking at staying where I was at. And I told her no, I wanted to do correctional nursing. So she took my information, and one day, I would say a couple weeks later, she contacted me, and I was able to get in with the county jail. So my first day on the job as a county jail nurse, it was very overwhelming. I mean, it was a lot. I went from, giving 30 patients medication to looking at 200 to 300 people. And I'm like, oh my God, how? How do you do it? It's very overwhelming. I also learned intake, and on intake, you really have to be open to learning and challenging yourself, because people come in, they drunk, they high, they pissed off, they ain't smelling too good, they doing a little too much, with they moving around and checking for imaginary things. I mean, you get the real deal on the mental health. You get it on your chronic care people, because you get the paraplegics come in and wheelchairs, y'all, and you just saying to yourself, like, what in the heck is going on? What are you doing? You coming in here in a wheelchair? Yeah. You get your drug addicts. You get your people arrested for the first time, first offenders. You get repeat customers, your people on parole. They done messed up. Now they being arrested. You get the people that are locked up in state prison, they come back for court. So you get those people. You get your pedophiles, human trafficking, all that stuff. I mean, when I tell you, you get every walk of life that comes through the county jail. Every walk of life. You get these people that are high profile, and and so you really get every walk of life. Your best patients are your homeless patients, because they pick and choose when to come. They pick it. It's gonna be too cold. It's a hurricane coming. It's a blizzard coming. It's too hot out here. I got to go. They're going to trespass on where they're not supposed to be at. The Walmarts and the Targets. They know how they do. They're going to come in there when they ain't supposed to be in there, because they ready to go. Time to check in. So you're going to get accustomed to these people. You'll get used to the alcoholic that drinks 1 to 2 liters a day. And that his body is going to go through withdrawals within the first 2 to 3 hours. So you got to really, stay on track with him and, get him or her situated. You have your full-blown mental health patients come through there. They took their meds since their meds took them last. So, they non-compliant all day. They seeing things, hearing things, talking to whatever and everything but you. Okay. So you're going to get those people, so you're going to learn your diagnosis, your true mental health diagnosis, your schizos, your manic, bipolar people. You're going to learn all of that. You will see it, you will learn it, you will learn the medications that people are taking, the ones that are routine. If you don't know all your chronic care illnesses, don't worry about it. Go to the county jail, you will learn. You will learn, you will learn, you will learn. All I ask, be open minded to learning and be willing to accept the challenges that come with it because it's very challenging. But it gives you all the tools that you need to go to the state prison. I don't advise people to go to state prison first because it will eat you alive. I advise people to go to county jail first because county jail prepares you and it gives you everything, how to be able to take care of the patient, how to talk to these people, how to get what you need out of them. You know, it will give you all of those tools, whereas state prison don't give you that. You either know it or you don't know it. And unfortunately, I see a lot of people come into the correction world through state prison first, and they have a really hard time because they didn't go to county jail. So they don't know that people be acting like fools and acting crazy and being dang on extra. And the manipulation is real because they do it in the county jail first. We see it firsthand. We know these games. We know these the seizures and that they they have or don't have. So it's a lot of things that county jail teaches you that will help you along your path in corrections. Of course, you want to go to a safe county jail. I don't want to say they're all not safe, but you just want to pick the right one, the best one for yourself. But you learn a lot. There's a lot to learn. You got a great team of nurses and doctors there, and a lot of them. And so you're able to have someone to talk to when situations jump off. They can, hey, what's going on? What you need? How do we need to handle this? But you want to do the jail. You want to do the county jail. The county jail is going to be everything. County jail for me was as I always say, my first love. And so that's going to always be my baby, no matter what, county jail, because I know what comes and goes in there. I know how it goes. And, when you get used to assessing people and doing those intakes and asking the right questions and deciding where to put someone, don't get me wrong. People do lie. They'll think they're getting out in a few minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, hour. So they won't tell you the truth. They're going to tell you they got high blood pressure and take metoprolol, at home. They're going to tell you, oh, no, I don't have no chronic problems. No, I don't take no medicine. Because in their mind, they going home. So, they're not concerned. Now, that's where you have to really pay attention, y'all, and be very observant of people. From the time they come in till the time that you end up seeing them again. Because things go from 0 to 10 real quick with people when they find out they saying, and they are not going home, okay? So, they'll tell you they don't take no blood pressure pills, but yeah, when you did their blood pressure, it was already high, it's like 150 over 158 over 93. But no, I don't take no blood pressure medicine. No, I'm good. I'm okay. I'm all right. But then, later on, you see them and they having headaches, they nauseous, they not feeling well, they're not looking well. Come to find out, when you take their blood pressure, it's like 180 over 112. And, you're like, what's going on? And they say, oh, I take clonidine 0.3, and I take metoprolol, and I take, you're like, wait a minute. You ain't, on your intake, you say you don't take nothing. Well, I lied, now they won't help. So I had to make it a rule of mine that when I do intake with a patient for the first time coming into jail, I let them know up front, listen, I need to know everything that I'm asking you that is valid and true, because if you have a medical emergency, we need to know how to best help you. If you're telling me that you're not on nothing, and then, we got to figure it out. So it helps if you tell me, hey, I'm on this, I take this, I'm diagnosed with this, I'm diagnosed with that. That people need to know. Tell me the truth so I can best serve you. Cause I cannot figure out what's wrong with you. I can't read your mind, your body language. So I need you to, tell me what's going on today. So if something happened to you, we know how to best serve you and take care of you. So you have to, give a little speech sometimes for people to open up to you and tell you the truth, because they will. That alcoholic that don't wanna, that think he leaving, cause he them got caught for the first time with a DUI. You know what I mean? And so he gonna tell you he was only drinking tonight, but then when you see him again, like 6 hours later or whatever, now he's all on the door calling for an officer. I need help. I need help. You gonna make the rounds and then he wanna tell you I'm an alcoholic. Well, did you tell me that on your intake? No. Well, what did you tell me? This was what I said. So, you do a lot of educating people in county jail, y'all. Y'all will learn how to educate folks all day long. You will learn how to educate people. That is the one biggest thing I learned with county jail is education. Educating the patient over and over and over and over and over and over till you blue in the face. But that's what, that's nursing, that is nursing. So I will educate them over and over and over and over and over, no matter what it is. So some jails will offer you, will have infirmaries. Some jails have other mental health treatments that they offer. It depends on the size of the jail. The bigger it is, the larger it is, the more services are offered. So you get an opportunity to do EKGs, you get to do labs, so you will learn a lot about the medication, whose labs need to be drawn, especially like if they're on Keppra, Depakote, those are medications that the doctor's gonna wanna see where they're at, their levels, so that he can decide, or she, if they need to increase, decrease, or they good where they at, so there are a lot of medications that you will learn about. HIV, drawing the labs on that. You will learn how to draw the labs on HIV medication, on HIV patients. Suiciders. You get a lot of suiciders, depending on what the offenses are. Normally your pedophiles are going to be your suicidal people. 9 times out of 10. If depending on what day of the week it is. Because in some states, they do certain things, where they do the decoy, and so you get a whole lot of them getting arrested, and oh yeah, you will have suicide cells all filled up with them on decoy night. Now with the other nights might have the domestic night, they call it, I think, like wife beater night or something like that. And that's where they go out and it's domestic abuse night for some reason. Certain nights of the week that happens. And then you have it where they have warrant night. This is where they go out and they pick people up on warrants. So you get all kind of people coming in with their pajamas on. You looking like, what in the world? I mean, it's crazy. People getting attacked by dogs. Oh, it's funny. The stuff that goes on. I had one guy, he came into the Sally Port, and when he got in there, he got out of the car, he was being, patted down and talked to, and I think they were going to do his breathalyzer or something on him. So when they took the handcuffs off of him, this guy ran straight by this big pane window. He ran straight to that pane window head first. Blood, everywhere. He went out, and within a few hours, he was right back. I just knew they was going to keep him, Oh, he ain't coming back. No, the hospital did not keep him. They stitched that head up and sent him right on back. Okay, I go, he go right on to jail. So, so we just make sure we have the paperwork for, when they're released from the hospital. They have to come back with that paperwork showing it, saying that they're clear. Because we don't want to bring anybody into the jail has not been cleared medically by the hospital. Or if the patient refused treatment, we still have to have the paperwork showing that, hey, treatment was offered, but they refused. So that way, if they come back with that paperwork and they refuse treatment, hey, guess what? If something happened to them in that blood, in that cell, they can't sue us because we did our part. Now, it ain't my fault you didn't want treatment. You refused the treatment and you went to sleep and died because stuff happens. If they be in a car accident, y'all, in the Sally Port, you have to ask them, have you been in a car accident? If they tell you yes, and they would not did not get treatment, they have to go to the hospital. They have to go to the hospital to get treatment, you know. So don't let these state troopers, I love y'all, but some of y'all be tripping and they'll say stuff like, well, they saw the EMT. Well, the EMT doesn't have a scanner on board. So no CT scanner on board to see how they brain looking, are they bleeding in the head? Like, so you always have to be like, no, I'm gonna need you to take him to the hospital. You can't just bring him or her up in here like that because they saw the CT, the EMT. I mean, no. So just FYI on that, if you choose to go to the county jail, county jail is fun, challenging, but be very observant of yourself. I met some really great nurses that I had opportunity to train with. And they taught me everything that I know. I took a little bit of everybody's style and created my own style, when I'm out on the med pass, when I'm, dealing with situations or issues that come abroad, that appear at the time. So it's just, you do your thing, and make it happen for you, but be safe. I enjoy, county jail. We're getting to know the officers as well because they're your right hand man or woman, and so you want to always make sure that, you letting them know what's going on, because normally they pretty good with letting medical know what's going on with the patient, especially if they come in and they just not looking, not, looking their best. If they got a BAC of the blood alcohol, that we do on them. And if they BAC is high, I send them out to get checked, to be assessed properly by the hospital. But, if it's not too high, I just, would tell them, make sure you drink water, you eat things like that, and just monitor them. But we put them on the floor, when they're alcoholics and drug addicts. It's called a boat on the floor, a boat. It's like a boat. They lay in it on the floor, and that's where they're safe, So if they should have a seizure or anything happens, they're already on the floor. So, they're in a safe space on the floor. They're not on the top bunk where they can fall down and bust their head open or anything like that. So you put them on the floor. You learn as well, when you're doing a med pass, that when you're out there and the inmate doesn't come to your cart, you calling Johnny Walker, Johnny Walker, Johnny Walker, and he's not, hey, where is he at? The other inmate, oh, he didn't say he don't want his meds. The answer is no, he didn't say that because he didn't tell me. So he need to come to my med cart and tell me that. Y'all know the games that y'all play up in here. I'm not doing that with y'all. And, the inmates will start laughing, oh, you're so funny. And I'm like, yeah, But things do happen, y'all, in there. Things happen. Inmates, some of them turn up dead. I'm just saying, they fall asleep and don't wake up, or they get into fights. somebody done beat them up, and they don't want them to get in. The other person doesn't want to get in trouble, so they hide out. I had one like that too. Where he got attacked in the cell, and he was basically not wanting to come to the med cart, but eventually when he showed his face, I'm like, what the heck happened to you? But his statement was, I fell. Oh, okay. You sure? Yeah, I'm sure. Do you want to come to medical? No, I'm good. You sure? Yeah, I'm good. Officers looking at him, I'm looking at him, but hours later, fast forward, the next shift, then there's a medical emergency, and because their two inmates got into it, and then it's the same guy, only now your face is much worse, so people do stuff, and I just try to keep myself safe and keep other inmates safe if I see that something is just not, going too well or working out in the best interest of the patient. We have to really pay attention. If they cell is nasty and dirty, they are unkept. And when they first came in, they were something we need to let mental health know. Hey, something's up with this guy or female because this is what's happening. This is what I'm noticing. I talked to him and he just seemed a little out of sort. Can you see him? You know, but I do that all the time because I don't want anything to happen to somebody on my watch. So I'm your advocate, and that's what I'm going to do. Whether you speak up for you or not, I'm going to speak up for you because I don't want no medical emergency. I don't like them. I don't care for them, and if I can avoid them at all costs, I'm going to do that. Because we don't want a medical emergency. We want to be able to get to this person ahead of time. Hey, let's take care of him or her and get them in a safe space, you know, because things happen and people are afraid when they're in jail. It is full of hopelessness. It's a dark place for a lot of people. So, you have to really pay attention to where people's state of mind is because they'll come in and tell you they're good and then they'll go to the cell and hang themselves. So, we really have to really be active, very, very active with people, proactive with people on their stay at the county jail because it's not the Hilton. Okay, it's the county jail. And a lot of things take place and go on in these jails. So I'm very proactive with people. I watch and I listen for everything. Even if it don't seem like nothing, I'm paying attention to what it is because I know it's something. Just not really sure. Um, so, just like when they're taking their medication, making sure that they're taking it. Sometimes some of them are a little slick with it. So I will actually watch them walk back to their cell and see if they can, but if they doing something because I'm used to their behavior. I know how they do when they take their meds. And when you start acting a certain kind of way with me, I'm going to be extra proactive with you to see what you're doing. Because you're not going to be, not taking your medicine. Then you're going to have a whole situation going on, and then we got to deal with it. So, no, we have to do what we got to do. But these are all of the different things that I have learned about county jail. And it's so many stories in county jail. I could tell y'all. I mean, it's just so many stories. A lot of it is, some of it's just sad, but some of it is funny as hell. Just things people do, you know. But in all, that is my background on why I came into correctional nurse and why I still continue to be a correctional nurse because it's drama, but you're always learning something. You're always challenging yourself. So, I always say their drama, not mine. I'm just here to serve the people and do what's best by them. That's how I look at it, and that's how I am with it. Some things go over my head, some things do not. but it depends on what it is. For the most part, I'm going to make sure that I'm safe and try to, as much as possible, keep the patient safe. So until next time, on episode 3, we'll be talking about fair, firm, and consistent on the next episode. So have a good night. Talk to you later.